Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are opening up the ultimate master vault of human performance, personal power, and social mastery. Think about this for a second. Why is it that some of the most brilliant minds on the planet, people with sky-high academic credentials, perfect technical abilities, and massive analytical power constantly find themselves stuck in their careers, struggling in their relationships, or completely overwhelmed by daily stress? Meanwhile, other individuals who might not have the same academic pedigree seem to move through life with absolute ease, commanding immediate respect when they walk into a room, building deep alliances and turning every high-stress crisis into a massive strategic victory. The standard educational system has lied to us for generations, pushing the illusion that your raw intelligence, measured by your analytical intelligence quotient, is the ultimate predictor of your destiny. But modern psychological science has shattered this belief. Today, we are doing a deep dive, immersive storytelling breakdown of a book that provides a complete step-by-step operating system to unlock the single most critical factor in human success: Emotional Intelligence 2.0 by Travis, Bradberry, and Jean Greaves. This masterpiece is not just a theoretical discussion about feelings. It is an intensely practical, data-driven manual designed to help you measure, train, and optimize your emotional intelligence quotient, or EQ. The authors present decades of research involving hundreds of thousands of subjects across every imaginable industry, proving a shocking reality. Your EQ is responsible for a massive 58% of your performance in any given job, and a staggering 90% of top professional performers possess exceptionally high emotional intelligence. Get incredibly comfortable, clear away all outside digital distractions, grab your notebook, and let us decode the precise neurological and behavioral strategies required to master your emotions. Read any room with absolute clarity and claim absolute dominion over your life and career. Part 1. The Secret Neurobiology of Your Ultimate Superpower. Let us begin our story by journeying directly into the biological, physical structure of the human brain. To master emotional intelligence, you must first understand the hardwired neurological pathways that dictate how you experience reality. The authors explain that every single sensory input you receive from the world around you, whether it is a harsh email from your boss, a sudden shift in a client's body language, or a stressful conversation with your partner, must enter your body through the spinal cord at the base of your skull. From there, the signal must travel to its ultimate destination, the prefrontal cortex, which sits directly behind your forehead. This is the rational, analytical part of your brain where you engage in logical thought, strategic planning, and self-control. But here is the massive evolutionary catch. Before that sensory signal can reach your rational brain, it must, first, pass directly through your limbic system, the primitive, emotional center of your brain, where your raw feelings and immediate survival reflexes are generated. This physiological layout means that you are biologically hardwired to feel an emotion before you can think rationally about a situation. You cannot stop your brain from feeling. You cannot block the immediate wave of anger, fear, or excitement that rises within you when a high-stress event occurs. The path of the signal is fixed. The real difference between low performers and high-status, emotionally intelligent leaders is what happens next. In low EQ individuals, the signal gets completely trapped in the limbic system, triggering an immediate amygdala hijack. They react impulsively, lash out with defensive words, make decisions based on temporary panic, or shut down entirely. An EQ champion, however, has trained their brain to build a strong, high-velocity highway between the emotional limbic system and the rational prefrontal cortex. They allow the signal to pass through the emotional cortex center without losing control, blending emotional data with analytical logic to produce a perfectly calibrated, high-status response. Emotional intelligence is not about suppressing your feelings. It is about establishing total cognitive sovereignty so that your emotions work for you rather than against you. Part 2. The Self-Awareness Protocol. Now that we understand the neurological pipeline, let us look at the very first of the 4 foundational EQ pillars. Self-awareness. The authors define self-awareness as your ability to accurately perceive your own emotions in real time, understanding what triggers you, and recognizing how your emotional states dictate your daily behavior. Most people live their lives in a state of chronic emotional blindness. They assume they know how they feel, but in reality, they are completely disconnected from their internal states. They go through their day reacting to external stresses like leaves blowing in the wind, completely unaware of the underlying emotional undercurrents driving their choices. To build an unyielding foundation of self-awareness, you must first implement the strategy of treating your emotions as objective data rather than moral judgments. Stop labeling your emotions as good or bad. When you feel a sudden wave of jealousy, anger, frustration, or fear, do not try to suppress it or shame yourself for feeling it. Instead, step into the role of a detached scientific observer. Ask yourself, why is this specific emotion rising inside me right now? What underlying need or boundary is being challenged? Another critical strategy is learning to feel your emotions physically. Every emotion you experience triggers a physical reaction in your body. Anger might manifest as a sudden tightening in your chest or a clenching of your jaw. Fear might show up as a hollow feeling in your stomach or a rapid increase in your heart rate. By mapping these somatic signals, you can detect a rising emotional storm before it has the chance to hijack your rational mind. Furthermore, you must actively track your emotional ripple effect. Recognize that your moods do not exist in a vacuum. When you walk into a meeting feeling frustrated and distracted, your energy radiates outward, affecting the performance, focus, and confidence of everyone around you. By mastering self-awareness, you gain the power to consciously curate your internal state, ensuring that your presence always projects calm, grounded, and unshakable authority. Part 3. The Art of Self-Management. Once you have mastered the self-awareness protocol, you must transition directly into the second pillar, self-management. Self-management is your capacity to use your emotional awareness to stay flexible, direct your behavior positively, and actively control your immediate reactions in high-stakes situations. This is where the rubber meets the road. In the heat of a corporate negotiation, a heated domestic dispute, or a sudden crisis, your ability to manage your behavior is the ultimate differentiator between success and total failure. The authors emphasize that self-management is a finite cognitive muscle that requires deliberate, structured training. The first elite strategy of self-management is mastering the art of the intentional pause. When a high-stress stimulus hits your system, your primitive brain demands an immediate reaction. You must interrupt this automatic feedback loop. Implement the strategy of breathing right. Take a deep, slow breath, drawing oxygen deep into your diaphragm. This SIMPLE physical act floods your nervous system with a calming signal, slowing your heart rate and buying your prefrontal cortex the valuable seconds it needs to process the incoming data and formulate a rational strategy. Another highly effective self-management tool is managing your internal self-talk. The average human being has tens of thousands of thoughts per day, and the vast majority of them are negative, repetitive, and self-defeating. When things go wrong, your internal monologue might scream, "This is a complete disaster. I can never fix this." This catastrophizing language sends your brain straight into survival panic. You must actively rewrite this narrative. Force yourself to use constructive, reality-based language. Replace panicky thoughts with objective statements like, "This is a highly challenging situation, but I have the skills and resources to navigate it step by step." By actively curating your internal monologue, you take complete command of your emotional state, transforming anxiety into laser-focused tactical execution. Part 4. The Social Awareness Paradigm. With our internal emotional systems fully optimized, we must now turn our attention outward. This brings us to the third critical pillar of emotional intelligence: social awareness. The authors define social awareness as your ability to accurately pick up on other people's emotions, decode nonverbal cues, and truly understand what is happening beneath the surface of their words. In our hyper-distracted modern world, true social awareness has become an incredibly rare and high-status skill. Most professionals are completely wrapped up in their own internal monologues, worries, and personal agendas. When someone else is talking, they are not actually listening. They are simply waiting for their turn to speak, completely missing the subtle emotional signals being projected across the room. To master the social awareness paradigm, you must first practice the strategy of clean observation. When you interact with someone, force yourself to clear your mental clutter. Put down your phone, close your laptop, and commit your full presence to the person in front of you. Watch their body language, track their facial expressions, note their vocal tone, and pay attention to their pacing. Are they leaning away? Are their arms crossed? Is their smile genuine or forced? Another powerful social awareness strategy is learning to step directly into the other person's shoes. This is not about feeling sympathy. It is about developing cognitive empathy. Ask yourself, what pressures, fears, goals, and organizational structures are currently shaping this person's perspective? Why are they acting this way? When you approach human behavior with a mindset of objective curiosity rather than immediate judgment, you decode the hidden motivations driving their actions. You gain the ability to anticipate how others will react to change, negotiate with unmatched precision, and address the unspoken emotional needs of your clients, partners, and teams. Part 5. The Relationship Management Blueprint. Now we arrive at the absolute pinnacle of emotional intelligence. Relationship management. This final pillar represents the culmination of all your EQ training. The authors define relationship management as your ability to use your self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness to successfully navigate human interactions, build powerful alliances, and resolve high-stakes conflicts with grace and authority. Relationship management is the engine that drives leadership impact. You cannot lead a high-performing team, execute complex business deals, or maintain deep personal bonds without mastering this specific skill set. It requires a relentless focus on establishing mutual trust, open communication, and psychological safety. The first tactical strategy in the relationship management blueprint is avoiding mixed signals. Many professionals say one thing with their words while communicating the exact opposite with their body language and tone of voice. If you tell a team member that you are open to their feedback while crossing your arms, avoiding eye contact, and tapping your foot impatiently, they will never trust your words. Your physical presence must be in perfect alignment with your verbal messaging to build authentic rapport. Another critical relationship management strategy is the willingness to accept constructive feedback with absolute composure. When someone points out a blind spot in your performance or behavior, your natural ego reflex is to immediately go on the defensive, make excuses, or counterattack. You must smash this reactive loop. Treat feedback as a valuable, rare gift of high-resolution data. Thank the person for their perspective. Ask clarifying questions to truly understand their point of view and use that information to optimize your future performance. Furthermore, you must master the art of constructive conflict resolution. Do not avoid difficult conversations. Lean directly into them. Use your emotional intelligence to acknowledge the tension. Name the underlying feelings in the room and guide the parties involved toward a collaborative, win-win solution. By holding that space with absolute stability, you transform potentially destructive conflicts into powerful opportunities for deeper trust, alignment, and strategic growth. Part 6. The EQ Action Plan for High-Status Influence. As our storytelling journey through the profound insights of Travis Bradberry and Jane Greaves reaches its destination, let us step back and look at the entire architectural map of your newly optimized mind. Remember this final truth: emotional intelligence is not a static, genetically determined trait that you are born with. It is a highly dynamic, trainable, and malleable cognitive muscle. By consciously re-engineering your brain through the 4 pillars of EQ, you permanently exit the matrix of emotional reactivity and social friction, the illusions of anxiety, career blocks, and misunderstood. Relationships will fall away entirely from your presence. You will walk into any room with an aura of unshakable confidence. Command immediate respect from high-status partners and clients. Protect your valuable cognitive energy from the parasites of everyday stress and discover that you have transformed your life into a magnificent, powerful beacon of continuous personal growth, professional sovereignty, and lasting global success. What is the number 1 emotional intelligence strategy from this masterclass? Whether it is committing to the intentional pause to regain control of your reaction, mapping your physical body signals to detect emotional stress before it takes over, or focusing entirely on decoding the nonverbal body language of your clients and teams that you are going to commit to practicing in your professional life today. Let me know your growth and leadership goals in the comments down below. If this deep dive storytelling summary completely restructured your mental frameworks and handed you a definitive architectural playbook for social intelligence and emotional sovereignty, show some incredible love by clicking that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss another profound psychological, performance, or modern leadership book breakdown. And share this video with a colleague who wants to level up their connection. Presence today. Breathe right. Master the pause. Decode the room. And I will see you in the next video.